Hello, everyone. Very good morning. It's a pleasure to meet every one of you in our virtual workshop series. And this being the final workshop for this year, it's a pleasure to welcome you all once again. Let's do a quick audio and video check before we move forward with the session. If you can hear me, see me, and the slide deck that I'm sharing with you right now, please acknowledge to the chat window on your left. All right. Thank you so much. I hope I'm loud and clear. Let us just wait for a few more moments for rest of our attendees to join this session. And while we wait for them, my colleagues will be posting the link to our social media handles right there in the chat box. Please do follow us and keep yourself posted on upcoming events and other workshops that we plan for 2022. And in case you happen to miss any of our previous workshops, not to worry, we'll share the recorded link with you. You can have a look at them at your own convenient time. And even today's workshop is going to be recorded end to end, and we'll share that recording with you shortly after the session. All right, let me quickly check. Yes, looks like we do have enough number of attendees, so let me move forward with the session, starting with an overview of Showtime. There are a couple of tabs towards your left. Let me point them out one by one, starting with the Questions tab. If you have any questions during the session, please be sure to post them in the Questions tab alone. This will help us answer all your questions one by one in an orderly fashion, and this also ensures that none of your questions go unanswered. And then we have the polls. We will be rolling out a few polls throughout this workshop. Please do participate in all of these polls to keep this workshop engaged. And then we have the chat window. We've already met that. If you have any issues with audio or video, please let us know through the chat window. However, if you face any such issue, I would suggest that you refresh your browser because majority of the times it tends to solve the problem. And last but not the least, we have the handouts wherein we've attached a PDF with help links that is aligned towards today's session. You can download them anytime before the session ends. The topic for today is analyze data and track leads with the help of Zoho Forms. I'm John Wilfred, an evangelist with Zoho, so is my colleague Anjana, and we will be your host for today. On the Q&A, we have Nivedita, who will be answering all your questions, while your trainer Arshia is going to take you to the hands-on training session. And before we start, please ensure that you have signed into your Zoho account if you wish to mirror any of our actions. And in order to do so, you may need admin privilege to access certain features within Zoho Forms. And please do not experiment with any of the existing settings. If you wish to try something out, do create a test instance that you can probably delete later after the session. All right, so do we have any questions? Okay, I do not see any questions at the moment. However, I do have a question for you, and that is going to be the first poll for today. So, are you aware that Zoho Forms can analyze data and track entries? Okay. Okay, let's keep the poll going. All right, looks like majority of you are aware of this feature, and for those of you who do not know, this is going to be an eye-opener session for you. Thank you all so much for participating in this poll. Let me quickly display the result and hop on to today's agenda, wherein we'll have a look at view and analyze the data. We'll also have a look at tracking leads, followed by the hands-on, and finally there will be a quick recap before we wrap this workshop. Well, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for your time and patience. Without further ado, let me welcome Arshia to take the session forward. Arshia, the stage is all yours.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop. Today's session is on analyzing data and tracking leads with the help of Zoho Forms. My name is Arshia, and I will be presenting this session. I'll start off by giving an overview of today's session. Today, we're going to see how we can view and analyze form data with the help of form reports and form analytics, which is an inbuilt feature in Zoho Forms. And then we will move on to seeing how we can track leads with the help of UTM and GCLID. So without further ado, let's jump into viewing and analyzing form data with form reports. So with reports, you can sort and consolidate form data by applying filters on the received entry. This way, you can analyze the data collected better and get your team involved in managing them. You can share your reports publicly or with specific users and print and export report data as well. And you can embed your reports into web pages or websites. So first, we have view form submission data in an organized manner. We can view your form submission data in an organized manner in columns inside report. Create a record for each form under which all form entries will be collected. You can name these reports as you wish. To sort entries in particular columns in ascending or descending order, click the drop down and you can select ascending and descending and sort them and view your reports as you wish. If you have assigned values to a choice-based field, you can also view the values assigned, and you can show or hide field data that you do not want to see while viewing or analyzing your reports. So it's quite customizable to your needs for you to be able to clearly view and analyze data which has been collected into your reports. You can set auto and custom filters to your field entries. You can use custom filters to filter out entries that match the conditions you specify. Entries that match the set conditions will automatically be added to reports. Autofilters can be applied to filter entries based on the inputs given in a drop-down or radio fields, and then you can go forward and work with your team to analyze the filtered information that you are provided with. With this way, you filter out information that you do not need to see at the moment, and you can work on the information that you really need to analyze. You can customize the view of your choice fields data. And by choice fields, I refer to drop-down, radio, multiple choice, and checkbox fields. And you can color code this data in these fields to be easily recognizable for you to see the different types of choices your respondents have made. And you can manage your data collaboratively. You can share your reports with your team. And also, we also have the option of record approvals available in reports. I'll get into record approvals later, but first we'll discuss sharing our reports. You can share your reports as a public link. You can share a link of your form reports with the public audience to let them view the data collected using a form, or you can share it with specific users in your organizations or to all the users in your organizations via private emails. Unlike public sharing, you can protect your privacy and share the data collected within a closed group in your organization when you share a report privately. Only the users who are part of the Zoho Forms organization can view your reports when they are logged in to their Zoho Forms account. You can also choose to give them either read-only or read and write access to edit the records inside each report. And finally, we have the option of embedding your reports into websites using the options of iframe, HTML, or CSS, code, and hyperlink. With iframe, you can use the code provided to embed the report as an iframe in your web page or website. With the HTML and CSS code provided, you can embed the report as a button on a web page. And finally, you can use the code provided to embed the report as a hyperlink on the web page, and the report will open up in a pop-up window when the link is clicked. With these, you can share your reports in all the different ways. And now I will move on to talking about our record approvals. So you can set up multi-level record approvals upon receiving form entries from your respondents. And you can set approvers to review the records and approve or deny them. This streamlines the approval process by allowing multiple records to be reviewed at one place rather than as each form entry. So, hence, you can do bulk approvals of form entries, which is unlike our form approval process where we have approvers set at each level to approve each and every form entry. This avoids that hassle if you would like to do bulk approvals of form entries by streamlining the approval process. Finally, the approvers can engage in discussions over each entry and include their reasons for approval and denial, and this can also be viewed as well. You can export all form submissions as printable PDFs or CSV files. You can easily share copies of these documents with the rest of your team via email or print to ensure that everyone stays in the loop while working collaboratively. Now that we've gone over reports quite briefly, we'll have a quick hands-on session where I teach you how you can create a report for yourself. So to do so, you're going to log into your Forms account, and you can access reports in two ways. One is under the form that you would like to create a report for. You can click this report option here, which will be available under the form name, or you can go to the left-hand corner and you can go into reports from there. When you go into reports, you will get my reports and the shared reports as well. Shared reports are reports that you have access to along with other team members. So we're going to create a new report today. So to do so, we have on the right-hand corner, the new report option. You click on that and enter your report name and select the form for which you want to create your report. This is important. Make sure you select the right form for which you want to create your report, because the form entries for this form will be falling into your report. So as soon as the report is created, you are directed into the general settings page. And one by one, I will explain what these are. The first one is the report name. You can edit this report name at any time that you wish. And we have next the date format. The date in your report will be displayed in this format, in whichever format you have selected in the date format. And under the time date zone column in your report, the time will be displayed based on the selected time zone. I'll repeat this again. Under the date time column in your report, the time will be displayed based on the selected time over here. Finally, you can choose which delimiters to separate between the names and addresses of your reports. Next, we have, and once you are satisfied with your general settings, you can click on Save. Next, we have custom filters and auto filters, which I explained before, which you can use to filter out report data. And you also have the option of showing and hiding columns in your reports. For example, if you do not want to see the column of a particular field, you can remove the checkbox here and you can disable the checkbox here, and this field will not be shown in your reports. Once you're done, click Save and you will be able to view the fields that you have selected to be seen in your reports in all entries. Now to see your report data, you go into Entries here. And here you have all the report data that has been collected. Using this data, you can assign tasks to your teammates. As I mentioned before, you can set approvals, record approvals to your teammates, and you can share it as well with people in your organization or publicly. You can filter out your entries as you wish, and you can export and print out your reports. Now that we've gone through how you can create your report, when you click on any record inside your report, you will be able to see the record data over here, as well as the comments that approvers or task owners have left in the corner. Now that we've gone over creating a report, I'll give you a minute to try it out for yourself. I'll repeat again. To create a new report, you either need to select the reports option under a form name, or you need to go into the reports tab in the home page. A list of all the reports created will appear. And to create the report, you need to click on New Report button at the top right-hand corner. Type in the report name as well as select the form you wish to link to your report and click Save. All right, I hope that was enough time for you to try and create a report, or at least check it out for yourself. And next, we'll go into the next option here, which is our form analytics. So form analytics is a built-in analytics option available in Zoho Forms. You can use the analytics reports to get information of your form's online activity and analyze your form's performance, examine page traffic, page view traffic by date and region, record form errors, and monitor conversion rates all in one place with this inbuilt option. So once your form is shared and the responses start coming in, with this option, you can find out page views, submissions, error score and conversion rate. Quickly, I will go over what each of these mean. So here we have the page views shown in our form analytics. So page views is quite simple. It is the number of people who have viewed your form, and you can either view page views in a monthly or yearly format or by region, as you can see here. You can see the page views by region in this map provided here. So using the map and using the monthly or the yearly format, you can see where your traffic comes from. Next, we have submissions. This section provides the number of entries received through your form. Similar to page views, the submission section also has a monthly and yearly view and a map showing the number of entries by location. Next, we have error score, which gives the number of times that an error was thrown while your respondent tried to submit the form. With the help of this error score percentage that you are given, you can also deduce if your form needs any modifications or if it needs clearer instructions to be provided to your customers and respondents. Ideally, your error score should be quite low. If it is high, it means that your form is not clear, and that makes the chances of respondents leaving your form halfway through quite high. So with this, you can see how well your form is performing in terms of usability for the respondent. And finally, we have the conversion rate. This tab shows the rate of conversion of views into entries. It gives the percentage of people who have viewed the form and ended up filling it. The conversion rate is calculated by dividing the entries by the page view. So now that we've gone over page analytics, I'll quickly show you how you can access page analytics in your Zoho Forms. To access it, you need to go into your forms, and under your form name, you will have the analytics option. When you click on that, your form analytics opens up. So it's quite simple. As I mentioned before, you can view the page views and number of submissions by monthly or yearly format as well. So now that we've gone over how you can view and analyze your form data with the help of form reports and page analytics, we will step into UTM tracking. So with UTM tracking, we can take form analytics a couple steps further and track where our form submission traffic comes from, whether it's from a website or an ad campaign or email campaign, with the help of UTM tracking in Zoho Forms. First, we will go over what UTM tracking is briefly. So UTM tracking is done with the help of UTM tracking codes. A UTM tracking code is a snippet of a simple code that you can add to the end of a URL to track the performance of campaigns and content or marketing activities. Now, there are 5 variants of URL parameters you can track, namely the source, medium, campaign, term, and content. The dimensions you track via UTM codes usually show up in your Google Analytics reports. Now, to give you a clearer insight into marketing performance, you can view your Google Analytics reports. Fun fact, the UTM stands for Urchin Traffic Monitor, which I'm sure a lot of you know. But the name generates from Urchin Traffic, a web analytics software that served as a base for Google Analytics. Now, if you want to look at the URL posted here, you can see that the UTM code looks something like this. After the question mark, you can see the UTM code source, which is Google, added here. Now, adding the UTM code does not impact your actual page in any way. You can very well delete the UTM code from your URL and your page will continue to function as normal. Now we'll talk about UTM tracking within Zoho Forms. UTM tracking within Zoho Forms helps you identify the leads that come in through a campaign, as I mentioned before. In Zoho Forms, you can track entries from a particular source or a Google Ads campaign with the help of UTM and GCLID parameters. You can also track form entries intelligently with the help of auto tracking. So we have tracking available on 2 different mediums to be seen today. And once you enable tracking, you can choose the tracking method to track your leads depending on how you share your forms. And these 2 options available to track your leads are website tracking and URL tracking. Now, website tracking is simply when you track the information from a form embedded on a website. You can choose from the 2 options provided, which is advanced website tracking and basic website tracking, to track your website visitors. Later on, I will get into the difference between advanced and basic website tracking. And we have the URL tracking, which is to track information from a form shared as a link. So before we begin tracking with UTM parameters, you need to add or define your UTM parameters. So to do so, you simply need to go into your Share tab, and under Track Entries on your left here, you need to click on Start Tracking option and define the UTM parameters. As you can see here, you have the standard UTM parameters, that is the UTM source, medium, campaign, term, and content. You can also add custom parameters such as GCLID and referrer names, and you can then thereby go forward and track your form data, form visitor lead traffic data with the help of the UTM tracking codes that you have set. Similarly, when you are going to track UTM tracking with the help of URL tracking, you need to add and define the UTM tracking parameters to a form permalink from campaign URL tracking. You just need to go into the campaign URL builder and identify your campaign source, channel, content, and more. And then using the link generated here, you can share this link and all the information for tracking leads. When someone clicks on this link to fill up your form, will be reflected into your forms account. So we've briefly gone over setting up our UTM tracking parameters, as well as defining the tracking parameters for campaign URL, which is pretty straightforward to share from there. So now we will go into basic and advanced website tracking. So your website tracking helps you identify the source from which your respondents visited your website and submitted an entry through an embedded Zoho form. After defining the tracking parameter, you simply need to copy the code generated by Zoho Forms containing the tracking parameters defined by you and paste it into your website's footer to be able to track the information from your Zoho Forms, which is embedded in your website. I'll show you a quick video here and I will explain this in detail. So as you can see, once you've created your form, you need to go into the Share tab. When you go into the Share tab and click on Track Entries, you need to click on Start Tracking under the UTM tracking option. You need to define your parameters over here and then click Proceed. You have the option of clicking Website Tracking, and when you click on Get Tracking Code, you will be able to see both the basic tracking code and advanced tracking code. When you click on Basic Tracking Code, you copy the basic tracking code into the footer of your website in which your form has been embedded, and you click Save. After this, whenever someone fills in your form data using the website and from wherever they have been led to the website, all these details which have been defined by your UTM tracking parameters will be reflected in your forms. So this is as simple as it gets with basic website tracking. I'll show you how your tracking details will be reflected in your forms after you've done basic website tracking. So when you go into all entries or into a reports, you will find the UTM campaign details here under UTM campaign details column. And if you click on the record or a form entry, you will be able to view all the details in this page here in your record summary. Next, we'll go into advanced website tracking, which is quite simple and it's quite similar to basic website tracking. As before, you need to go into track entries, start tracking, and once you've defined your parameters, you can go into your advanced tracking code and copy the code and paste it into your website's footer. So once someone fills in your form, the advanced tracking details will also be reflected in your forms. So now the advanced tracking, which will capture information such as the source using the UTM parameters available in the website URL. It will track the traffic from Google Ads using GCLID parameter in the URL and also auto track traffic from different search engines as well. So you can do all these things apart from the basic tracking information with the help of your advanced tracking option. You can once again view your advanced tracking details in all entries and inside your reports. And when you click on a record, you'll be able to view all the details quite concisely in your record summary. So with this, we've gone over basic and advanced website tracking. And we've gone over how you can view your basic and advanced tracking details inside your form reports and all entries. So next we will jump into GCLID. So GCLID or Google Click parameter, you can select this option to determine the Google Ads advertisement that brought a lead or contact to your website. With this option, capturing GCLID is necessary to obtain the Google Ads information right inside your account. I will go over what GCLID is quickly. Google Click Identifier or GCLID is a conversion tracking tool within Google Ads. Your Google uses GCLID to sync information between ads and analytics, so you can keep track of extensive details of user sessions within your Google Ads account. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can capture GCLID information in your advanced website tracking, but now what I will show you is how you can capture GCLID when you have done a Zoho CRM integration as well. So once again, I'll go over how you can add a GCLID in your custom parameters for advanced website tracking. As before, you go into the Share tab and under Track Entries, when you modify parameters, you can add a custom parameter which will be GCLID, and you can also add other things such as a referrer name and click on Proceed. From there, you can do your advanced tracking code. And when you copy and paste the code, you will also get the GCLID information in your forms reports with the advanced website tracking option. So as I mentioned before, we have the option of tracking GCLID for advanced website tracking, but we can also enable this option when you are when you have integrated your Zoho forms with Zoho CRM. So you can capture your GCLID tracking details during this integration as well. To do so and to enable capturing these details, you need to do as is shown in this video here. So when you are trying to capture the GCLID tracking details during your forms and Zoho CRM integration, you need to click on the GCLID option. I will replay this video. You need to click on the GCLID option under your actions available here, and you will be prompted to integrate your Zoho CRM with Google AdWords and to set up your Google Ads integration with Zoho CRM. After which you can go forward and integrate your Zoho forms with Zoho CRM if you have not already. So once you've done that integration, and when you click integrate, you simply need to go into the Share tab again and go forward and copy the advanced tracking code to embed your form into a website. You can also copy the tracking code in that pop-up which you saw before and paste it into your website. And you will be able to track the GCLID information even if the visitor navigates to other pages in your website before filling up your form. So I'll go over this again. To capture GCLID information, you need to make sure that you have integrated your CRM account with your Google AdWords, and as well as while integrating your CRM account with Zoho Forms. once you have followed the first 4 steps of setting up your Google AdWords integration, you can paste the code provided here into your website's footer, or you can go into share option and paste the tracking code provided in the advanced tracking into your website's footer. Once you've done so, the GCLID information will be captured in your forms and reports, even if your visitor has explored other pages and navigated other pages in your website before filling up the form. Now I'll show you how you can view GCLID tracking details in your form reports for the Zoho CRM integration. If you would like to view the GCLID tracking details in your form reports, you actually need to go into the show or hide columns option, which I showed you before, and check on the UTM campaign details and GCLID campaign details to be seen and click on saved. Once you've done so, when you go into entries, you will be able to see the GCLID information captured there. So if you would like to view the collected GCLID information, please make sure that you check on the show or hide column, the GCLID field in the show or hide column, so that your GCLID information will be shown in your record summary and in the report columns. And this way you can see all the UTM campaign details as well as the Google Click ID. So with this, we have gone over how you can track entries with the help of UTM parameters and GCLID. And this is the last of our series here today. I hope that you had a good time and that these sessions were useful for you. It was a pleasure presenting these sessions to you. I will sign off now and hand it over to my colleagues. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. I hope you guys can actually see me. Sorry, guys, there was a bit of technical glitches. So before jumping into my recap session, as you all know, I'll be running a couple of polls. This is definitely a very generic question as well. So were you aware of UTM tracking and GCLID before this workshop session? Just going to keep this open, poll open for some more time, and I could see that none of them are aware of this. I hope the session would have made it much more interesting for you. And the last poll for today is, which of the following platforms do you track your campaign traffic the most? Is it through Facebook, Google Ads, Twitter, or through LinkedIn? Again, I'm going to keep this poll open for some more time as well. So I just want to give you a heads up that before you end the session, there is this hands out. Please make sure you actually download. There are quite important links available in there. So in today's session, as you would have seen, Hashia, she gave us a really good information about Zoho Forms, how it works with reports and analytics. Further, she also explained to us how UTM and GCLID tracking system work as well. There were a couple of activities were given as well, but not a problem. This session is being recorded and our team will email the recorded session to you. You can try during your leisure time. If you have any queries, please make sure you pop it in the questions tab. We have our product expert live at the moment and she's happy to answer. Or if nothing pops at the moment, not a problem at all. You can also email us at support@zohoforms.com. We are available 24/5. If you would like to share your testimonials or discuss about businesses or products, you can feel free to reach to me and John. Please write us to evangelist@zohocorp.com. We are available anytime. If you'd like to give us any feedback in our current workshop session, please feel free to give us because your opinion definitely matters to us. So once you exit this session, there is this form which pops up. Please make sure you answer them. I once again take this opportunity saying thank you on behalf of Zoho team, as we have been saying constantly, repetitive audience who've been supporting us. Thank you so much. Please take care and stay safe at home. Thank you so much.